one to the City of Grandview Heights Planning and Administration Committee. It is 6:30 on Monday, November 21st. I, Rebecca Hudson-Cochinos, chair, are present, as are Ryan Edwards and Melanie Houston. On the agenda tonight, our first item of business is ordinance 2022-23, an ordinance to accept the dedication of .003 acres of real property to create a sidewalk easement and declaring it an emergency. This is the second reading. Director Parker.
Thank you. Yes, we've been working with the owner of that property for a while now to do a execute a public-private partnership to improve the appearance and right-of-way there in front of that property, and we're able to negotiate an easement from the private property owner to the city to allow the city to widen the sidewalk there officially. It will be ADA compliant. It will have street trees, and as you've seen, it's been rebuilt much nicer than it was before. So that's what the easement ordinance is for.
Fantastic. So there's still more work to be done, because I have noticed that the sidewalk itself has been widened, I think, or at least there was a retaining wall that got removed or something, but there's still more improvements to come.
There are more improvements to come. As the private work has been completed, and the city's contractor for this year's street program will be installing the trees and tree grates in the coming weeks.
Very exciting. Committee members, any discussion?
No, this is great. Have also noticed some improvement out front of there, so yeah, supportive.
I just wanted to clarify, the location we're talking about is in front of the chiropractor's office, right? Okay, that's what I thought. Yeah, I've noticed that as well.
Excellent. Are there any motions to recommend approval to the full council?
Sure. Move to, that we recommend to council approval of this ordinance.
All in favor?
All right.
Any opposed? Excellent. Moving on, item number 2, ordinance 2022-24, an ordinance to grant a 0.772 and some change acre easement on a portion of certain city-owned property to facilitate access across a newly constructed school parking lot and declaring it an emergency. Director Pilker again.
Yes, so also here, as you know, we've been working with the schools for the past year and a half to get their overall campus reconfigured. In negotiations for the street, those actually started after they had completed some below grade improvements. And so this easement allows those to remain in place, and it still allows the city to do everything that we need to do in the right of way. So lets their parking lot be of an appropriate size, and they'll be responsible for that area as well over the coming years. So also good public-private partnership, and happy to recommend the council will approve this one as well.
Excellent. Any discussion?
Well, was this the only question I have was this something that we just didn't do up front, or I was just trying to figure out kind of this small strip and kind of how this all kind of came to be. So just a little bit of context there would be helpful.
So I would say, yeah, sure. I would say that the contractors may have known something that the administration and the city weren't thinking about at the time, which is that the sub base had already been installed for that parking lot because they were using it for laid out area. It was one of the first things that they did. So rather than have to move that sub base, it was able to remain in place, which helped the school get their work done timely, and didn't really present a problem for the city in terms of our right-of-way construction. Actually, probably barely, if at all, did I notice it, because the break happens across entry and exit curb cuts into the parking lot. So you'll barely notice it, I think. And it worked out well for everybody and prevented, having to redo any work at additional cost for the schools, and really no gain per se for the city.
Thank you.
What does sub-base mean? Just so I make sure I understand the vernacular.
So anytime you have paving, the cars, heavy things are gonna drive on, you've got a gravel base under there that's, very thick.
Got it.
And they had actually already put one coat of asphalt on too, you may remember. So it's a piece that would have been in the MOU had we kind of had that piece in our mind at the time, and just came up later, so we need to execute it later.
And the map shows what is the future-looking parking lot, right where the red line is, it connects to the, well, I don't know if it's constructed yet, but historically, that wasn't a parking lot right there, correct?
That was not parking lot there until the, well, right.
Construction.
It wasn't parking lot, it was
Yeah.
field there before.
Right,
grass.
okay. Just trying to orient the old and the new.
Yep.
Okay.
Any further discussion?
Move to recommend to council approval of this ordinance as well.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any
Aye.
opposed? Thank you. If there is no other discussion, I will adjourn at 6:38.